Hello, Facebook family. Happy Sunday. I'm coming to you live today. It's been a little bit since I've been on live. Whew. And I've titled this one, Sometimes Growing is Acknowledging, Part of Growing is Acknowledging What You're Feeling. And I've been hesitating coming live, and I wasn't sure why I was feeling so hesitant about being live on Facebook. And I was blessed to have a phone call from a dear friend of mine. I told her I was going to be mentioning her today in my live post. Her name is Maddie, and she actually is one of my son's friends, but we connected because, I don't know, we just connected, and it's funny because she says that sometimes I'm like a second mom to her, and she's kind of like a daughter to me, and at the same time, like at the soul level, she's like my sister. And she said the same thing, and it was really cool because I haven't been in touch with her for a while, but she happened to call me out of the blue today, and it was exactly the phone call that I needed to kind of help me, I guess, add some clarity to some things that I've been going through. And I don't know, I guess just being present to someone who sees in me some things that sometimes I'm not willing to see in myself. So thank you, Maddie, for your call today. It contributed to me so much. So I wanted to share that, and I know I've shared this before, and I've been hesitant to share it again because I feel like I'm always going through this, but I've been going through yet another space of feeling just up in the air, which ends up I end up judging myself when I'm in those spaces, and I end up becoming paralyzed because I don't know what to do. I don't know what I should be doing. Sometimes I ask questions, other times I'm resistant to asking questions, and so I just kind of get stuck in that energy. So I took some time today to do what I usually do, which is I start going through my different YouTube videos that have somehow inspired me or have messages that resonate for me, or they give me some sort of comfort. I go back through reading different messages from people that have also kind of given me some clarity or comfort. And I'm going to share some of them with you. I started with a text from my coach, Leimomi, who one of the first times that I expressed with my tribe that I was struggling, and I wanted to share some of those thoughts because I don't know if they'll resonate for anybody, but they might, so I'm going to share them with you, and I wrote them down because I felt like I needed to hear them again. So she said, I'm putting on my glasses, these are my professional looking glasses. Anyway, she said there's a couple key points that I wanted to share that I needed to hear myself today. So again, part of growing is acknowledging what you are feeling. So I have been in this space of emotions, and I've just been kind of swirling in it, and I haven't really acknowledged it. Oh my gosh, there's a beautiful yellow bird. I'm sorry. Let's see if I can. Oh, he left. I love birds. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, universe. That was beautiful. What a gift. Anyway, so acknowledging what I've been feeling, which I think I don't acknowledge it because I don't want to admit that I'm in it, because I make myself wrong for being in these spaces of confusion and self-doubt. So acknowledging what I'm feeling. So again, that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling overwhelmed again, and just lost, not sure what to do, not sure that I want to do anything, wanting to just stay in my own little world of safety and not put myself out there. And I apologize for all the noise. I tried this new mic to see, I got some positive feedback from a friend of mine that said that there was a lot of wind in my posts and it was hard to hear me. So they recommended putting cotton. I don't know how to do that, but I found this little mic, so I'm hoping you guys can hear me. Anyway, so again, I apologize, but that's the beauty of nature, isn't it? Birds chirping, the plane, actually it's a helicopter in the sky. And honestly, it's perfect right now to just be in gratitude. I just need to be in gratitude for every single little thing. Okay, anyway. So let me continue with my thoughts. The other thing she said, showing your vulnerable sides even when you feel ashamed or like a hypocrite. And that came up for me because, oh my gosh, these birds. For those of you that don't know me, I love birds. Okay, so when I go through these spaces, I don't like to share because I feel I create this expectation that people have of me that I should have my shit together. That especially if I'm going to be doing energy work and helping people to grow, teaching them how to grow, and then I'm in my stuff, then I feel like, who am I to try to even do this as a living? Who am I to try to be that example or that teacher for others when I don't even have my shit together? And just again, like she said, that showing my vulnerable sides is important, and it is, because that way those of you that have been following me, some of you have said, wow, you really always look so happy. And yes, most of the times I do feel happy, and there are times when it's not so great, and I want to make sure that you guys know that when you're in those spaces, it's okay too, because it's not always going to be roses and rainbows, and I say that for you, but I say that for myself too, because this is part of the journey, is learning that we're going to have those moments, and that's okay. So showing my vulnerable side so that you guys can see that we'll have those too, and it'll be okay. We're not hypocrites. I'm not a hypocrite. I need to remind myself I'm not a hypocrite just because I have these moments too, even though I'm trying to teach you guys how to get past these moments. A true leader isn't afraid to show all sides of themselves. That gives me chills, because that is a difficult thing for me. Again, I took on other people's expectations that I should be perfect, that I should have my shit together. Again, being willing to show you guys that there are all sides, that even leaders aren't perfect. I'm not perfect. And so being willing to admit that to you guys is huge for me. So there will be times where I don't have my shit together. There will be times where I don't know what to say. There will be times where my tools, I don't want to use my tools. There will be times where I'm not allowing them to work for me. And yet again, isn't that the beauty of being alive? I want to say being human, but that's part of the beauty of being human, because there are some limitations, I think, about being human, and I don't want to give into those, but there's beautiful parts about it too. So that is part of it. We're all those different sides of ourselves. We're not one thing. We're multifaceted, like a diamond, and those multifacets shine beautifully, right? I just realized that right now for myself. So we are like diamonds. We're multifaceted. Some sides look one way, other sides look a different way, and when the light shines on it, it retracts a beautiful, it plays back a beautiful hue of light that looks almost like a rainbow, and it's beautiful. Yes, we are beautiful. Saying yes, to have the courage and tenacity to keep on going even though it's hard, and that's huge for me. And I have to take the time to acknowledge myself, because I do that. I do continue to keep going even though it's hard. Yes, I may take some days where I have to kind of get through the muck to find my way back through, because I've fallen into my emotions or my thoughts or my disempowering thoughts about myself, my limiting beliefs, the lies that I tell myself about myself. I get stuck in those, but I still keep going. Like, I don't always stay there anymore. I used to stay there for a long time when I would have my severe depressions, but I'm not now. So I do say yes to keep growing. I acknowledge myself for having the tenacity to keep pushing through, regardless of how uncomfortable it gets, regardless of how painful it gets. And believe me, it gets painful, not just emotionally, not just mentally, but even physically. For those of you that know, I am a believer in that the mind and the body are connected. And And I'm a believer that a lot of our physical ailments stem from a lot of our emotional and mental thought patterns. And so I am very clear, I've been dealing with a lot of lower backache, and weirdly enough, like my shoulders have been hurting to the point where like I can't raise my arms, and then my ankle's been hurting. And it was funny because my cousin yesterday, when I told her about my shoulders, I was like, and it just, this one has been hurting, but then this one started hurting yesterday. And so she asked me, what is it that you're shouldering? What are you taking on? And I was like, oh my gosh. And then my ankle was hurting, and she said, what is it that you can't stand? And I also got, where am I not wanting to move forward? And I stepped forward with my right foot, and that's the ankle that's hurting me. So somewhere I'm resisting moving forward or taking that step forward. So, and then my lower back, the process that they talk about is, what are you holding behind you so dynamically that if you were to look at it, would presence you to a level of power and potency and capacity that you're not willing to acknowledge that you have. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so me. So yes, I've been experiencing all that. Kind of lost my train of thought, so I apologize. But anyway, creating your dream life isn't always easy. And it isn't. It isn't easy because when you're going through that, being an entrepreneur, being a leader, going for your dream life, stepping out of the norm, creating a different reality, all that is not normal. And so when we do those things, we're pushing beyond our boundaries, and it's gonna cause us to have to face all of the negative mindsets that we have about ourselves. And so we have to continue to stay the course. And it's not always easy, but it's possible. And so I'm definitely experiencing all this right now, and we will continue to experience those things when we're going through these shifts and these transitions and transformations in our life. So I just needed to remind myself of that. And again, when I'm in it, I forget. So it's what I tend to do is I'll rewatch those YouTube videos. I like to watch some of the ones from Dr. Dane here from Access Consciousness. He gives some really great ones. Again, reading, I like to watch some of Lemomi's things. I like to watch some of my sisters, my soul sisters from our tribe. They have their channels, their Facebook groups that sometimes they post videos, so those inspire me. Sometimes they do their live videos that have messages, those inspire me, so I'll go back and I'll watch those. Sometimes literally I will spend a day or two, literally all day, just one video after the other. And it may seem like a waste of time, like if someone were on the outside looking in and seeing that I'm on my phone all day. It's not, because these are all things that contribute to me, that remind me and help me. Those are my steps for helping me to get out of my stuff. So that's what I do, and again, in doing that was allowing me to see to see some of these points and remind me. So and it was funny because again, in my conversation with Maddie, and I was telling her what I was going through, and I was kind of crying a little, giving into my emotions and just sharing with her. And it was funny because I was telling her I was afraid to go back on Facebook. I recently did a Facebook Live where I danced, and then I posted another video a few days after where I sang. And those were difficult things for me because I know people look at me and think that I am this happy-go-lucky person and that I get along really great with people, but in a lot of ways I tend to give in to the idea that I'm shy, and I don't like being judged, and I'm not a great dancer, and I'm not the best singer. So honestly, I'll admit that for a few days after, I was a little embarrassed. I was almost like afraid to show my face because, I got so many positive compliments and so many great responses and comments, and I appreciate them. And still, I had my own stuff to go through that I was kind of embarrassed to come back on live because I was embarrassed. I don't know. I don't even know. I can't even really describe what it was that was going on, but it was kind of like I was embarrassed to come back on live because everyone had really seen me no holds barred. Like they saw me vulnerable, showing my dancing, showing my singing, and so it was weird. But it was something that Maddie said. She said that I needed to talk more because I have a message, and she acknowledged that I've contributed to her life. But that she said that, and when she said that, my body just got chills, which is my body's way of presencing me to something that I need to know or hear, or something that's truth. So that's what she said, that I need to talk more. So got it. Thank you, Maddie. um, so anyway, I wanted to share that. The other thing I wanted to share is I've been posting on Facebook, on my Facebook page. I felt drawn a couple weeks ago to share Power Thoughts. So I have this deck of cards. It's called Power Thought Cards by Louise Hay. So I've been posting some of those, and if you go through my pages, you'll see. Some days I don't. I pull a card every day, but some days I haven't posted it because when I pull the cards, I ask Source and my body to guide me to what is the message that I need to share today. And it's funny because when I'm feeling in these spaces of lack of clarity, I notice that I'm not as open to hearing what Source has to tell me. And so so sometimes I pull cards and I'm like, well, what does this mean? Like, I don't even know what to say. So I don't post. But yet today I did pull one, and it was funny because the one, like I said, I was feeling worried about. Part of what has been coming up for me again is like, what am I doing? Like, what's the message I'm supposed to be sharing? Like, how am I going to do this? Like, do I even have the abilities? Are my capacities really real? Are they even strong enough? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know what to do next. Like, I'm supposed to be building this business, and I thought I had an idea of what that was going to look like, and then I started to feel confused again, and then what are people expecting of me? Because I've already put it out there. Now they're going to be expecting of me, and I'm expecting of myself. And so the card, and again, all that is weight. That's weight on me that I'm putting on myself. Like, no one's putting it on me. And if people have that, it's still on me to choose to take it on and own it like it's my own expectation. But that's what I've been doing. And it's funny because the card I pulled today was, I let go of all expectations. And then in my conversation with Maddie, she was saying that too. She said, Roberta, it sounds like, you're taking on the world's views and you're, and it was funny because, she's like, you're taking on what the world thinks that we should do. And it was exactly it, expectations. And I had to share that with her. But again, it's just a reminder to me, like, yes, this is what I needed to hear, that I'm falling into that again. And sometimes we don't realize we're doing it, but I was falling into it again. And so, yes, I let go of all expectations. So I'll be posting that later today, what that means in my experience of that. But yes, so that was another thing. And then the other thing that I did today, I started a book club a while ago, and we had to stop because of the COVID-19 situation, so we weren't able to meet together, but we were meeting every other week, myself and a few other amazing, freaking badass women, and Maddie was one of those beautiful, amazing women, but we were coming together to read a book because we all felt that we wanted to create a shift in our worlds, and that shift, that reality that we wanted to create looks different for each of us. But that book that I was reading was Being You, Changing the World. And Dr. Dane here is the co-founder of Access Consciousness, which is, again, some of the work that I've been doing that has really started me on this quantum leap of shifting. And then, of course, I'm picking up some new things like working with Momi and things like that. But there was something that he said in the book that really resonated for me. Let me see if I can find it. He said, if you don't have the world you'd like to live in and the life you'd like to have, then what you thought it was going to take to get that must be incorrect. And he said, as long as we stick to the point of view that change can only occur in the one way we decided it would, that isn't working, we will always look in the wrong direction for the source of change. And I read that because, again, that's going back to my expectations, the judgments that I have of myself for how I think things should be done, or how I should be doing, or how quickly I should be growing, or how much I should have my shit together. So that was powerful for me because I had to remember, it allows me to remember that I'm creating expectations again, rather than being in the question of things and being in the possibility. So again, he said, if you don't have the world you'd like to live in and the life you'd like to have, then what you thought it was going to take to get that must be incorrect. So he has a process in here, and I've started using these processes in my posts, which is basically asking questions, and then we use a clearing statement. Access Consciousness has a clearing statement that I love because it basically helps to undo. And let me see if I can read a little bit for you about what this clearing statement is. And I apologize, this is going to be a bit of a longer post than normal, but I feel like it's important to share this stuff. It says, the clearing statement is right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9, shorts, boys, and beyonds, or pot and pock for short. And this statement asks the consciousness of you to go back to the point of creation or point of destruction before you even planted the seed to this limitation, and we invite the seed to dissolve. So it says, if you consider this clearing statement like your magic wand, it's a way to change any part of your life that you would like to change. So I invite you to look up theclearingstatement.com for more information about it, but I'm going to be using that. I want to do a couple processes with you guys today that I've been using today to help me. And so one of the processes he had in this book that helped me today was, well, first of all, my first one that wasn't in this book that I wrote down was, who am I and what would I like my life to look like? So that was the question I decided to ask myself again. Who am I and what would I like my life to look like? And I don't try to answer it. I just put the question out there and I ask it, and I allow the universe to start shifting, moving, rearranging things to bring that into my awareness. So I will ask the question, and I'll invite you guys to participate in the question with me. And if you're willing to destroy and uncreate these things for yourself, then after my question, you just need to say yes, either in your mind or out loud, and then I'll do the clearing statement and hopefully start to create shifts for you and as well for myself. So here we go. Who am I and what would I like my life to look like? And everything that doesn't allow me to know, be, receive, claim, or acknowledge that, I now destroy and uncreate it times a gazillion. So who are you and what would you like your life to look like? And everything that doesn't allow you to be, know, receive, claim, or acknowledge that, are you now willing to destroy and uncreate it times a gazillion? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And again, who are you and what would you like your life to look like? And everything that doesn't allow you to be, know, receive, claim, or acknowledge that, are you now willing to destroy and uncreate it all times a gazillion? And if you said yes, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So I invite you to, if you want to use that again, what I do is I will replay videos of people sharing those processes, and I'll write them down, and I'll put them on my, like on a Google Keep or in my journal, and I'll use them over and over again when I feel like I need them. So the other question that he asked, which I thought was pretty powerful, is what possibility is presenting itself to me that looks like a problem? I'm going to repeat that again because that was huge for me. What possibility is presenting itself to me that looks like a problem? So all this that I've been going through, I was looking at it like a problem. But again, it's a possibility. It's a possibility to be open to another area that's ready to be healed, another area that's ready to be shifted. It's a possibility of growth. It's a possibility of more discovery of myself. It's a possibility of creating change for myself and the world. So I hope that in sharing with you guys, it's just a reminder that wherever you are is fine, and not to give up, to keep pushing through, to be tenacious, in pushing through and maintaining your path, in asking the questions that will help you to have awareness of what you need to help you to keep going, especially when you're feeling lost or confused or stuck. And to tap into those people that are around you. I've shared this before, but again, to tap into those people that are around you that will support you, that are able to see you in your higher calling as your higher self, rather than just letting you settle for, where you think you should be. And again, letting go of all expectations and just asking a question. Who am I and what would I like my life to look like? Or asking yourself, source, your higher power, your body, what's next? What do I need to do next? And being patient with yourself. And I say this for you, but for myself too. Just being patient with yourself, having compassion for yourself, and trusting that everything is perfect and it comes up for a reason. There's something to learn. Again, what possibility is presenting itself to me, to you, that looks like a problem? And are you willing to see it as the possibility? And everything that doesn't allow that, are you willing to destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Thank you for letting me share. I hope that something that I might have said will have contributed to you in some way. And again, if you have any questions, if you have anything that you need to discuss, if there's something that you're wanting to create and you think maybe I can contribute to you, please feel free to reach out to me. And I wish you life full of ease, joy, and glory. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your support. I love you. Have an awesome Sunday.